Ahmad Shafiu, State Minister at the Ministry of Higher Education, Labor and Skills Development, to share their insights on the evolving landscape of the education in the digital age. The first half of the presentation will be delivered by Dr. Abdul Latif Mohammed, focusing on school education, and the second half will be presented by Mr. Ahmad Shafiu, covering higher education. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Abdul Latif Mohammed. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Welcome everyone for the pillar presentation on Pillar 7B, Sectoral Digital Transformation in Education. This pillar reflects the combined efforts of transforming education through the power of technology. In the first part of the presentation, I will focus on the digital transformation of school education system. After that, my colleague, Honorable Mr. Ahmad Shafiu, will take us through the digital transformation of higher education system, including the workforce readiness and skills development. So let me begin with sharing why this pillar truly matters. So we all know that we are a small island nation with wide geographical dispersion, having our own logistical challenges. And we believe that digital transformation is the only possible solution that we could ensure that we deliver equitable, quality, and inclusive education for each and every learner. So our main focus, one of the key focus of this pillar is building a digitally competent ecosystem. Not only students, but also the teachers, school leaders, policymakers, even the parents, and everyone else will be included in this ecosystem. So we are beginning with the people, not with the infrastructure. And another key focus of this pillar is creating curriculum-aligned, inclusive content, both in Divehi and English language. Imagine a classroom where our students progress with their own pace and needs. And that is the power of AI-driven adaptive learning. And we will ensure that under this transformation, we will have the right AI tools in place to use in the classroom and out of the classroom to improve the learning and teaching. In order to make smarter decisions, more informed decisions, we need data, real-time data. And this data could be collected through different systems, like the systems we are planning to develop, the educational management information systems, learning management systems, that could be used to collect the data and used to track the progress of the students, their attendance, and there are different kinds of records. and also take the proper recordings of their behavior and their progress. So that's all about the vision. Let's see the reality on the ground. Digital skills. There is uneven distribution of digital skills. Digital skills are fragmented among the educators, among the policymakers, the teachers, even students and the parents. There are teachers and students who are very much confident in using these technologies, but many of them are not. There's a limitation of available curriculum-aligned, contextualized content. And when it comes to the infrastructure is fragmented. That means schools have poor connectivity, less access to the digital devices, and outdated equipments. Our schools and even our central administration is very much depend on this manual, paper-based administration. When it comes to coordination, we could say that there's a momentum of improving things through the technology, using the technology. But what is lacking is the system integration. So, if we bring these transformations, then what will it look like for the students, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders? So we will have digitally competent educators, teachers, school leaders, and even parents, driven by a strong leadership, ICT leadership. And also, after this transformation, we hope that we will have a huge pool of high-quality, inclusive digital resources that could be used by all the students, regardless of their background and their abilities. And also, we will have localized, contextualized AI tools that could be used for personalized learning. After this transformation, we hope that our schools will have better connectivity and they will have the access to smarter devices. And also, we are working on developing a state-of-art, a modern educational management information system, and as well as a learning management system, where we could use these systems to collect all the important data, and we can use those data to make more informed and timely decisions. So what are the challenges? As I have mentioned before, we have outdated ICT infrastructure in place in different islands, and it varies from schools to schools. And our available digital content is very much limited, especially when it comes to the local content, the Divehi language content. And regarding the digital competencies, as I have mentioned before, some of our teachers, our students, and even the parents, they are very much aware of this. They have these skills, but still we need upskilling. We need to provide the training, and we need to provide the related information to all these relevant stakeholders. There are policy and regulatory gaps, we need to prepare the regulatory frameworks. We need to come up with the proper and exact policies to support these changes. And in schools, there are limited tech supports, and the capacity to drive these changes are very much limited. And also, most importantly, it's very difficult to sustain the systems. Even though we have the systems, we lack this part of sustainability of systems and hardware. So what are the opportunities available? So we have this strong momentum, and we are about to launch our ICT Master Plan 3. So under this, and we have this strong drive to change the things and to be more digital and use more technologies to improve the teaching and learning. And our students are getting prepared to use these things. Our teachers are getting prepared to use these digital equipments and devices and engage in the kind of learning that students will have a more experiential and more contextual learning. And we have a strong partnership with different groups and agencies. Like we have a close collaboration with Global Partnership for Education, UNICEF, UNESCO, and the World Bank, Google for Education, and many more. And that's a good thing. And this is the era of AI, and a lot of AI tools are emerging. And we hope that with this opportunity, we will have a more curriculum-aligned, contextualized AI tools developed for different languages and for different kind of students having different backgrounds and abilities. And we are, as I have mentioned before, we are in the process of developing an EMIS and LMS, and that is another opportunity that is coming. And under Maldives 2.0, our plan is to position Maldives as a SEEDS digital education leader, and this is one area that we can use to drive these changes in the education sector. So when it comes to KPIs and milestones, we are trying to, we are about to begin the development of EMIS and LMS, and we hope that we will be able to cover all the public schools within 2 years and rolling out all the modules of EMIS. And we will be carrying out the ICT training programs for all the teachers beginning from this year, and it will be an ongoing process. By the end of 2026, we'll be able to reach 90% of teachers. And at the end of this transformation, and we have already begun to develop the inclusive content, and currently we are revising the syllabuses. And the inclusive content development, we are hoping that it will be, and it's also an ongoing process, but the national rollout will begin this year, and it will continue. And we are already piloting some AI tools, contextualizing our own school environments, and we are targeting to pilot the different AI tools in 3 different atolls by the end of this year. Yeah, and we ask, We ask your approval, your decisions, and your opinions regarding the approval and funding of ICT Master Plan 3 initiatives, and also mandating onboarding of all schools onto EMIS and LMS, investing in digital content devices and connectivity, endorse national ICT standards for education, and secure long-term sustainability funding beyond donors. And that is the part that I plan to deliver. I am pleased to invite my colleague, Mr. Ahmad Shafir, to present about the digital transformation in higher education. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Latif. Much of what is to be presented, I think, following on the school education sector, higher education and skills development, has already been covered in terms of service delivery, in terms of what need to be included in an education system. So I don't intend to go into those components, like be it about skills development or so. So the question of why this strategy matters to the whole education system, and also specifically for higher education, skills development, as well as to the labor market. Well, as we are indeed going through transformation always in terms of our economy, in terms of the demand for the various skills that are needed for the economy, including the education sector broadly, including the higher education sector, is essential in this transformation process, because higher education will be the enabler. The skills development sector will be the enabler to ensure the ecosystems are in place, it's shaped, and also we have the human capacity to continue work. So there is a requirement for an integrated, agile, digital ecosystem to be established. And for fueling this transformation, especially the digital transformation process, we need to ensure proper alignment with labor market. We need to improve services, especially efficient service delivery, and empower Maldivians through transparent, accessible, and future-ready pathways for both learning as well as employment. Well, as for the importance of this, as I mentioned earlier, this is central to realizing the President's vision of a digital Maldives, a Maldives 2.0, for a digitally enabled, future-ready workforce. In terms of integrating school education, higher education, skills development, all together, it enables data-driven policy making, enhancing service delivery, and placing citizens, especially the youth of the country, at the center of this development. Furthermore, if we are to talk about the strategic importance of this, it strengthens our economic resilience, ensuring alignment between the human capital requirements and priorities of the nation, and laying the foundation for a more competitive, inclusive, and sustainable Maldives. So overall, if you had to set a vision of why this pillar, especially in the sectoral component, why education becomes important, I would like to present a vision in these terms. We want to see a digitally empowered knowledge society in which higher education institutions, skills training providers, and labor market collaborate through data-driven decision-making, learner-centered ecosystems, and ensuring and equitable access relevant to the national needs for both lifelong learning as well as for upskilling opportunities to survive and to perform in a digitally enabled environment. If you had to go a little bit more detail into these aspects that we want to achieve through this, we would want to see a seamless integration of data and information flow processes at all levels of education systems, again, well aligned with the labor market systems. Inclusive and flexible access has already been discussed by Dr. Latif. When it comes to services that are currently delivered within the higher education ministry through its various authorities, this is one thing where every day a lot of our citizens seek quick and efficient services or expect efficient services from us. So one is the recognition of their qualifications, establishing proper databases, and for us to be able to reach out to this. So one thing that we would want to achieve through the digital transformation process is that a well-trusted and a seamless system is established for recognition of qualifications. Real-time career guidance and job matching tools are required. So we will facilitate it through this, improve decision-making through workforce planning, and ultimately, this point we would want to come in. Because when it comes to education ministry, I think all of you here would also be aware, one of the biggest services or service that we are entrusted to deliver is on offering financial scholarship opportunities. And we spend over 1.6 billion Maldivian rupiah every year in terms of investing and supporting in human capacity development through our loan schemes and scholarship schemes. But while we are talking about digital transformation, we need to talk about how we can increase the satisfaction level of the services that we provide. And this is where I think it's because of problems that we have in the delivery of these services that there is a high level of dissatisfaction often seen. So what we are expecting is, through this process, a fully automated end-to-end digital platform for managing student financing and scholarships, covering everything from application to disbursement, as we were also discussing last night with the financial team here. Well, I don't need to, I won't go detail into where we stand, I think, because we are already aware, but it's already important to identify certain gaps that we have. Well, unified skills or qualification registries are required in terms of utilizing the data and in order to facilitate for the systems that we were talking about. There's also, especially with regard to the scholarship and loan scheme, this gap, the management of student financing and scholarship programs is largely manual, depending on currently on email processes, where finally, I think there are gaps in the service delivery. Application intake, eligibility checks, evaluations, award decisions, and disbursements are handled through disconnected workflows and often relying on spreadsheets and manual verifications, again, which makes the processes very, very lethargic, slow. So we want faster services to be delivered. There are other aspects that need to come in perhaps through digital means, we would be able to provide access through higher education institutions, through micro credentials, as well as for other skill validation and verification processes. Well, this is an opportune time to take on with these initiatives because we are fortunate to already have started with certain strategic initiatives. To start off, we are working on a higher education management system. Our focus currently is on ensuring that the scholarship financing schemes are well integrated into the system. So that's the first component that we are working on. But later on, we want to see all higher education institutions, the registration systems, the qualification accreditation processes, all coming in to a very comprehensive higher education management system. We are also working on ensuring that through digital or online means, verification and accreditation of qualifications can be carried out through the MQA, through the establishment of MQA portal and institutional registration portal. But this is a project yet to be initiated, but in the pipeline. An extensively used platform is the Job Center platform that is already, I think we have around 56,000 users, more than 3,000 employers are in it, a job matching platform. But at the moment, we are working on upgrading the system to ensure these components of higher education, the qualification aspects and other skill requirements are set into it. Another one that will be launched very soon is the establishment of labor market information system, which we will be working very closely with NBS. ILO support is sought on this process, and what we would want to see an integrated labor market as well as an education that is aligned with the education policies coming in. Well, about the need for digital literacy has been talked about already, and I think this will anyway be an ongoing process that we are. Already we are working on identification of 21st century skills requirement. A framework is under development and in the process of finalization. Through this, we would want to identify, especially with regard to digital literacy, specific digital skills. Basic, what are the fundamental digital skills that are required currently? Further, specialized digital skills, especially for running and operating the digital environment, as well as vocational skills, digital skills that would be required in order for them to function and be operable within the digital ecosystem. And when it comes to education institutions, specific educational digital skills that would be required. So through a competency framework, we'll be looking into these aspects. What will then change for citizens and the state? So what we aspire through this strategy is that certificates verified through online instantly, fully digital services are provided for scholarships, applications, loan application process through the higher education management system, shared infrastructure and data exchanges, and labor market data, which is driven through policy and through data, and personalized advice being delivered through our career portals. I'll skip this as well and go into our expected KPIs. So through the next 2.5, 3 years, what we expect is that student financing system is automated at least by end of this year, and a fully operational higher education management system is there by end of 2026. All qualifications, verification processes issued through digital means. Registered users of Career Portal to reach about 150,000. At the moment, the last time I checked, it was 56,000 right now. So reaching 150,000 would be reaching to at least a little more than 50% of our working age population. Digital literacy programs reaching out to all islands through lifelong learning processes and labor market dashboards being made available. So through these engagements here in our summit, what we would want to see these plans that we have proposed be endorsed, allocate, and we would also want to see commitments by the government in terms of funding to support these mechanisms, and setting mandates for onboarding higher education management systems, MQA, and career platforms, approving data sharing policies across education skills, and I think more importantly with other sectors as well, and investing in this digital skills capacity program. So this is what we envisage to achieve out of this summit that we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul Latif Mohammed and Mr. Ahmad Shafiu. And now for our panel discussion on sectoral digital transformation of the education sector. Please welcome our moderator, State Minister at the Ministry of Education, Dr. Abdullah Nazir. Joining him on the panel are Dr. Abdul Latif Mohammed, State Minister at the Ministry of Education, Mr. Ahmad Shafiu, State Minister at the Ministry of Higher Education, Dr. Ali Fawaz Sharif, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Maldives National University, Ms. Fatma Shahida, Senior Curriculum Development Analyst at the Ministry of Education, and Ms. Fazna Yusuf Farig, Senior Curriculum Development Analyst at the Ministry of Education. If you have any questions, please raise your hands and rise from your seats and introduce yourselves before you ask the questions. We will provide the microphones when needed. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Minister, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and very good morning to you all. Welcome to the session on digital transformation in education, a crucial component of the Maldives 2.0 initiative. As we all know, digital transformation in education is not a luxury, but a necessity for geographically dispersed island nation like ours, ensuring equity, transparency, and future readiness for our learners and institutions alike. I'm Nazir. I will be your host for the next 30 minutes. Please join me in giving all our panelists well-deserved round of applause. Before we take a question from the audience, I would like to begin by asking the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the Maldives National University, Dr. Fawaz, how does this digital transformation in education help promote national unity and minimize the education inequality across the Maldives? Dr. Sharif.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Dr. Nazir. I think we are talking about, when you introduced as well, you mentioned our geographical disparity or dispersion across all different islands. And when we talk about inclusion, when we talk about equality, we are talking about very small populations. Reaching them through the normal means is impossible. So the only way that we can reach our small populations, be it the school education or higher education, we need the digital transformation, or we need the digital means to reach them. And when we talk about access, it's not only, when we talk about equality, it's not only talking about, let's say right now, we say that, okay, we have up to grade 10 on almost every child can have access to grade 10, but how much equality have we actually achieved? When we talk about equality, some of the students, or there is a large chunk of students who would not be able to choose the set of subjects that they can choose if they are in larger populations. So if we use digital means, then we can achieve those equalities. In terms of higher education, the same thing. It's just that we'll be able to achieve those through this means. However, I would like to highlight that in order to achieve this, there is technology, infrastructure, all this, we can talk about all that. But the main enabling factor that we need is changing our mindsets. The way we think about the digital transformation, changing the way we think about inclusivity, changing the way we think about the use of digital means in education. The reason why I say this is that every day I have to make this debate that when you use digital means, it's not the same as the physical means. It's not the same quality. So when we don't have the physical means, then only we go for it's an alternative. But rather, it should be parallel. So, Nazir, to answer your question, in terms of equality, I think the way to go is the digital transformation. And I believe that we can achieve that through this particular project. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sharif. Now, let's now open the floor for a couple of questions from the audience. Audience, please feel free to ask questions to any of our panelists. You may address a specific panelist directly, or I would be very happy to direct to your questions. Please, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Arshad Ahmad. I'm from Jawab. So my question is regarding the last presentation. There was a mention about micro-credentials and skills verification. So as far as I know, currently only MQA accredited and also MNSDA modules, National Skills Development Authority, like from their courses that conform to their framework. So mostly these are the two frameworks currently that falls under the Higher Education Act, I think. So, but let's say most of online course providers, for example, we have Job Academy, we provide very short-term, very focused, skills-based courses. But I think currently at the moment, it doesn't fall under any of the regulatory frameworks. So my question is there a plan to make sure those kind of micro-credentials and short-term courses also falls under some kind of regulatory framework so that we also get some legibility for students who do take part in those kind of online courses as well?
I will ask State Minister Shafi to answer the question, please.
Thank you, Arshad, for that question. Yes, the current Maldives National Qualification Framework recognizes what's stated as level 1 to level 10 programs, and these are often what is set as formal education courses, which are by definition often longer-term programs. The idea of talking about micro-credentials become important when we are talking about the need for labor market skills, especially while we talk about digital skills that are required for them to function. And among us, we have a lot of us may have already got their standard degrees and masters, and also those who would want to start. But we need to have a mechanism to recognize these skills. Already, such skills, if it comes through professional entities, even if it is shorter term, and if those professional entities that are formally registered within the Maldives recognizes these skills, then I think even through the qualification authority, we sort of, although we don't give a level to it, we still recognize them as specific skills. But the reason why we are proposing the micro-credentials to be part of it is to ensure that formal recognition is provided, either as continuing professional development recognitions, as CPD scores, or specifically skills requirements that go into the jobs. So currently, Maldives Qualification Authority is looking at integrating such micro-credentials. It might be standalone qualifications, or at least recognitions of qualifications at that level, but it can also add up for us to achieve a higher level, maybe leading up to a professional certificate or professional diploma, or even to a master's level qualification. So that's the idea, and we are looking at participating in regional entities or conventions that recognizes this, so that it can become a legal component of our system as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Shafir.
Just a follow-up question on that. I think under the current Higher Education Act, only institutions that provide either MQA accredited or MNSTA like accredited courses only fall under the Higher Education Act. So I think at the moment, like institutions like us who only provide, let's say, short-term courses, doesn't fall under any regulatory framework at all. So I think our the registration itself is kind of like under limbo kind of situation. So there's no actual recognition as an education provider or institute. So is there any plan to address that?
Yes, we are reviewing our current regulations. You're right. Earlier, before the legislation came in, any education provider is supposed to be registered, whether they offer accredited programs or not. But the current regulations states that if you are to be registered as a higher education provider, you should at least be offering a certificate one, or at least one that falls into the current framework. But I think we can resolve that once, for example, micro-credentials or other systems come in, so that if these are recognitions that we can provide through the legislation, then I think that problem will be resolved. But we are currently working on revising the current frameworks, legal frameworks, to facilitate that. Thank you.
Any other? Yeah, please.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Muhammad Ishan from Islamic Affairs. Actually, I have a question and two comments. So shall I start with the question or the comments?
It doesn't matter whether you can start with a comment or
Okay, I'll go with the question first. Now, we are talking about a huge transformation within around 2 years, right? So I was thinking that we had a school digitization program in 2017, and it was a very tough time as a person who worked in that program, I'm speaking. So regarding, when considering to that school digitization program, this program is much more than that. So from that experience, what are the measurements that has been taken to make this program a success or to be sustainable in the long run?
I think he is asking to clarify under the Maldives 2.0 digitalization program, what are the main measures to be taken for the school digitalization? State Minister Latif.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Maybe Dr. Shafi also could contribute to answer that question. Digitalization program, it was a huge program, started back in 2017, and under that program, tablet computers were distributed to each and every student of the, who are enrolled in public schools. Yeah, and it has its own benefit. For example, when COVID hits, we were fortunate that our students had those tablets, and then we were able to continue the learning. But yes, as you mentioned, we were unable to sustain that project because it cost a lot to replace the digital devices. So what are our plans to ensure that the sustainability of the new initiatives? That might be the question, I think. Yeah. One thing is, like, we had discontinued the previous MIMIS, which is called the MIMIS, Maldives Educational Management Information System, mainly because it's very expensive. We have to, it's a subscription-based system, and also it has some security issues. And every time we face a problem, we have to contact someone in USA or in Singapore, and it will take a lot of time to solve the problem. So that is why we are trying to develop our local AMIS now. And then we will be hiring the technical staff who will be able to maintain this device. So we will have an in-house technical experts who will be looking after these devices and upgrading these devices, this system. So there is one action that we are taking to ensure the sustainability of this larger initiative. That is all about building our own expertise and then trying to find more sustainable ways to finance this model. So yeah, maybe Mr. Shafi will add something to this.
I think probably the question has been answered, but just to, because I was involved then in education when tablets and the digitization processes started. I think here, usually the issues are when we do not have a comprehensive implementation mechanism in place. It was only just a component of the whole digitization process. And I think we of course did have a plan, but often what happens is when governments change, what one government has initiated at a point, there is lack of continuity that is established to do that. So that's why continuity becomes important, especially for major investments that we anticipate to reach out to them. So even right now, whatever programs that any government start, be it even Maldives 2.0, it's very important that there are legislative mechanisms also put in place to ensure there is continuity even with the changes of administration. So Well, it was a very ambitious program that started, and we expected it to continue. So I think to answer that question, for our plans to be successful too, as Dr. Latif mentioned, it's very important that we look at its financial viability, sustainability, but more importantly, the continuity of it as well.
Yeah, thank you, Shafi. I think it's very important to focus on the curriculum development and to maintain the suitable content to maintain this particular transformation. I would like to ask a questions on the Vehi language digital content promoting in order to make sure that inclusivity and sustainability of this particular digital transformation, and how these materials have been developed. We have distinguished senior curriculum development analyst at the MNU. Shahida, can you please highlight on this the language digital content in promoting inclusivity and these materials can be developed, please.
Thank you, Dr. Nazir. Regarding supporting students with special needs in our system, the main problem, the main challenge that these children face is they are unable to access the curriculum content that we currently have. So not only in Divehi, but even in English, the textbooks that we have, apart from the tactile textbooks, the PDF versions, all of the textbooks have soft copies, PDF versions available through our NIE website. But the problem is the content as it is not accessible, especially for children with learning disabilities, visual impairment, hearing impairment. So in our ICT in Education Master Plan 3, we have several projects that will focus on making this curriculum content more accessible to these learners. For example, we are talking about not just digitalizing the textbooks in the simplest form, but integrating interactive features to these digital versions so that students, for example, with visual impairment can use audio captions. For students with hearing impairment, we are talking about embedding sign language videos, and even to support different levels of learners, specific interactive features we are going to embed, for example, highlighting features that will allow them to check definitions, translations, and to support children with dyslexia, for example, or other learning disabilities. We are talking about embedding features that will allow them to change font size, use dyslexic-friendly fonts, change it to that sort of fonts, change the contrasts, that sort of thing. So that's one thing that we will be focusing on, to embed interactive features to the existing digital versions of the textbooks. And the other area is we are also going to focus on training teachers to develop these other content materials. Apart from textbooks, we are talking about when we are developing something as simple as a PowerPoint to incorporate specialized features that will reach out to all the diverse learners that we have. Anything else, Faisal?
Yeah.
I think I would like to add to that part. Inclusivity is one thing that we are giving very much importance while we are going to a digital transformation. So we even started one initiative called TechPath, where more than 700 Chromebooks are distributed to 15 schools we are piloting. We just started last year, and still we are in the piloting phase. Our teachers are trying to use some AI tools like Read Along, where the teachers can immediately, instantly get the feedback of the reading speed, reading fluency, and reading comprehension level after they assign these activities to the students. So which is more differentiated instruction based on not giving one size fit all content to all the students, but maybe the 2 students will get a different task and the other remaining students will get a different. So more personalized learning towards this. And our teachers, we are training the teachers. And I think we will be successful in making this digital, even localized content for our students. Yeah.
Thank you. We will take a couple of more questions from the audience. Please go ahead. Yeah, Fatou. Can you please pass the mic?
Yeah, I have the mic. Hello? Yes. Sorry, I'm Abdullah Mustafa. I am the CIO for MSWIS project. My question is that, from your presentation, we have, seen a lot of portals being developed, and you are going to launch them. But according to my knowledge, this 2.0 thinking that you need to have a single portal, which e-government portal is already being developed. And whatever applications that you are doing is, all these are doing CRUD operations. Retrieving data from some of the form and you are putting them into a database, then you call it a portal. Or maybe you can call it whatever sentence you write, you bring the abbreviations and you are making maybe it's a simple website, but it is having a database which is storing those data. And why we are going in silo, while we are coming into 2.0. Thank you.
Shafi, you want to say something on that? How streamlining all the portals?
I think in the presentation, what was shared was current initiatives that are underway. And as Mustafa earlier mentioned, our idea is to make it user-centric, where they would have lesser portals for them to get into. So what was expanded then was the various portals that we have. So once the higher education management information system, which is well integrated into maybe labor or career portals, we would want to ensure and see that there are limited access. But then when it comes to purpose of need, maybe it's just one thing about, I think, services all being integrated through OneGov portals. But different users may get in expecting different services. So, however, the environment that they get into might be different, but we would want to see, ensure that there is seamless connections. Just for an example, right now, what we don't want to do is when a student is applying for a financial scheme, we don't want the student to go into maybe an MQA portal and get their systems validated, their credentials validated, but rather while they go in for that, they have this. Similarly, one might be seeking employment, which would, of course, be different from applying for a financial scheme, in which case, I think the window or if you might call it a portal, will be with the purpose of getting that. But we want to ensure that all these are linked together. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Please. Please be short. We are running out of time.
My name is Arusha. I'm from Women in Tech community. Also, I work in EDSPA. When we move towards digital Maldives, I think it's essential to recognize technical qualifications from both local and international institutions, especially since legislative changes takes time. So my question is, do you have a plan to prioritize the acceptance of such qualifications in a near term? Thank you.
I think it sort of aligns with what Arshad also asked earlier, I mean, in relation to perhaps recognition of micro-credentials. Along with it, I think while identifying certain professional courses, even right now, there is the possibility of recognition of prior learning. For example, if there are certain competencies that are required for a particular qualification, such shorter term or specialized training can be counted, but then of course it has to be structured within a broader system. And it can be facilitated. And the idea is, of course, for us to have a mechanism to do individual recognitions that are specifically required for various maybe jobs, job roles or vocational skills. If that answers your question. Thank you.
Yeah, we have less than 50 seconds, so I think there's one more important area to cover, which is public-private partnership. So I think I will ask the State Minister, Dr. Latif, what strategies are in place to encourage collaboration between the public institutions and the private sector for this digital skills development?
Yeah. So.
Thank you, Dr. Nazir. So the question is, what policies are in place to have this partnership between the private and public, right? Yeah. So we are coming up with a lot of initiatives, and I think this will open greater opportunities for especially to the public sector to contribute, the private sector to contribute to the public sector, to our education sector. So we are talking about the AI tools, for example. Especially, we want to come up with the localized version of digital AI-driven tools, so that we could use those tools to improve our teaching and learning in the school context. So the private sector is always welcome for their innovation, and then they can contribute to the education sector always. And also, we are developing the digital contents. So when we develop the digital contents which are inclusive and which are comprehensive in every manner, so there is an opportunity for the public sector to come up with different kinds of technologies that will contribute to create and design and create and disseminate these digital tools to our teachers and students and also the parents. And for example, when it comes to training, the public sector could contribute in that aspect also, like the public sector, the private sector. The private sector could collaborate with us to conduct awareness sessions on cybersecurity, privacy, and many other areas. So there is always the opportunity, the opportunities are opening, and many of these will come soon.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Latif. I'm sorry, we can't take any more questions because we have run out of time. Yeah, thank you to all our panelists for your valuable insights, and thank you for the audience. I think you've been very good to us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you to our panelists, and thank you, Dr. Abdullah Nazir, Nazir for moderating. Our next pillar is modern legal framework for digital trust and governance. I am pleased to introduce Mr. Abdullah Hussain, Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Homeland Security and Technology, who will guide us through this pillar. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Abdullah Hussain.
So, can everyone hear me? I suppose everyone can hear me right now. Good afternoon, everybody. My task here is to present the Pillar 4, which is the modern legal framework for digital trust and governance. So when we talk about the legal framework itself, many people might think that it's only about the laws itself. But what we are trying to establish is not the laws only, it is a way to fast track how we are going to bring in the laws, how efficiently we can bring them at the right time, at the right pace. So this pillar is all about the law that powers transformation. We're talking about digital transformation. And in order to do that, we require a certain level of powers to be granted in order to enforce this. And this blanketly covers the three powers, which means the entire nation. It's not just the government. We're trying to bring in the judiciary as well as the parliament on board. And we witnessed that during the opening ceremony, all three powers were present here. And that is a testament to how this might be effective in the future, and hopefully a good transformation into achieving Maldives 2.0 digital first nation vision of the president. Why does this pillar matter? The digital transformation of the Maldives will fail without law. So it's a bit of a bold statement, but the context is that, as I previously mentioned, we require some set of laws to power this transformation. And it's not just a single law, it's a set of laws. It should govern an overarching area of the entire digital transformation journey that we are about to undergo. And we need the support of everybody, everyone here, as well as everyone that is potentially to come into this project itself. What does this pillar enable? It enables secure digital identity, and I'm pretty sure we've already had the privilege to sit here in the discussion as well as the presentation for one of the pillars about the digital identity. Protected personal data. That is about the Data Protection Act that we are about to bring in, hopefully very soon. Legal e-commerce and e-signatures. Now, this might be a bit sudden when it comes in this context. And some of you might say, in 2022, there was an Electronic Evidence Act that had been enacted. Where is it now? Why do we need this separately? Cyber resilience and trust. During the third pillar by Dr. Naufal, it was quite eloquently explained by the NCSA CEO himself. Streamlined governance. Now, this is the broader perspective. We want to establish a streamlined governance mechanism so that we can properly integrate every single aspect of the digital transformation that we are trying to bring into this. Transparent digital services. And this is crucial because it is one of the promises made by the president in order to reduce corruption, that we establish full transparency in bringing these digital services. National relevance. Now, it empowers the Maldives Digital Services as the national authority. This might be a bit surprising, or it might not, because you've already heard the term being spoken here. Maldives Digital Services is going to be the national authority whereby NCIT is going to be transitioning to once the blanket act that we call Maldives 2.0 Act is ratified. And the other aspect of relevance is that this fully supports the President's Digital First Nation vision. And we are privileged to have a president that has a pro-digitalization narrative and intent to fully give us the authority in order to proceed with this digital transformation as smoothly as possible. National relevance. Continued, it enables the pillars because the core, the precursor to this, or in a sense, the main reason for this pillar is that it supports every other pillar. And in order for every other pillar to succeed, we require a proper legal foundation to be there. It requires a proper legal framework to be there. And it also addresses the delays, the block agency rollouts and reforms, which has been a problem we have been plagued with for a while. Where we are now. So our current landscape, when considered, is fragmented. There is no single law that is dedicated to the governing of digital transformation. But as I just mentioned earlier, the Maldives 2.0 Act is by design going to be the law itself that empowers the digital transformation. Many key areas like digital contracts, data protection, e-signatures are still in draft form. Some of them are in early stages, some of them are in final stages. Like for instance, the Data Protection Act is in its final stages and hopefully going to the Parliament very soon. This might be the biggest elephant in the room. I suppose we have had a lot of discussions about why NCIT this and why NCIT that. But it is also important to understand the way things are. We have a lot of constraints, and NCIT is leading these efforts with considerable amount of constraints, specifically financial, even legislation. And in that aspect, legal power is required for agencies like this in order to proceed as best as possible. Supporting policies underway. So we have a couple of policies that we are working on even now. It's quite extensive, and these are just some of them which I would like to highlight. One being the cyber resilience strategy, data sovereignty guidelines, national data center security standards, 7 ICT use policies, and then a very crucial component in our journey here, the collaborations. We are collaborating with the AG Office, the Civil Service Commission, the National Cybersecurity Agency, UN CITROL, ITU, even CLDP, if you know, it's the Commercial Law Development Program of the United States, as well as the MITRE Corporation. Every agency or component mentioned here, they have been instrumental in aiding us through this endeavor. But I would like to mention the World Bank specifically because since this administration has started, World Bank has been instrumental in aiding us, providing us the guide, providing us the financial support as well in order to proceed with all the legislation we require, specifically stating Cybersecurity Act as well as the Data Protection Act. And currently we are in the works for the national ID law as well. I mean, the digital ID law. Excuse me. What will change for the citizens and the state? So, Right now, as I mentioned, it's fragmented, and we have missing laws, or we don't really have the proper laws available. So what we hope to achieve is that we are able to bring in cohesive, future-ready digital legal architecture that could aid us properly in our endeavor and empower us properly. Low public trust, which I think is prevalent. It has some level of inherent issues there, but what we are hoping to do is, through this process, guarantee the data rights and recourse for every citizen, businesses alike. Insecure digital transactions, legal validity of e-signatures and contracts are something we wish to achieve once this transformation is complete. Implementation blocked. So that's a big issue to some of the agencies, SOEs as well. So hopefully, through the laws, we'll unlock platforms that give access to rollouts and agency projects. And in some extents, we would like, even though there might be the lack of regulation, try to bring in temporary mechanisms that could help the rollout. Impact at every level. So we're trying to assure that this covers every aspect of the digital transformation journey we have. And we want the citizens to gain digital rights, privacy, and clarity of what they have, the rights to their data, and so on. Agencies can proceed with secure integrations. Right now, some are easy, some are hard, but in the future, I hope that we can streamline this process so that it does not take long in order to proceed with integrations required to provide a public service. Courts and regulators gain legal clarity for digital enforcement. The private sector can scale new services under safer regulations. Key strategic initiatives: the Cybersecurity Act, the Data Protection Act, and the biggest one, the Maldives 2.0 Act. Now, the significance of this is that it completely is designed to empower the whole Maldives 2.0 initiative, as well as to bring in, or rather to establish Maldives Digital Services, empower Maldives Digital Services, and provide the grounds to provide the digital services to the public as well. Digital contract laws as well. So what these laws will enable is it empowers new authorities, one being Maldives Digital Services, the other being Data Protection Authority, established under the Data Protection Act, the National Cybersecurity Agency. It also creates a unified legal interface for citizens and businesses alike. It also defines legal obligations for agencies and SOEs. Policy enablers, GDPR alignment and data sovereignty principles, modern legal clauses for interagency and public-private data exchange, coordinated review by NCIT, AGO, and international legal bodies. Challenges to overcome: legislative delays create bottlenecks across pillars. Legal review processes are slow with no fast-track mechanism, and the gaps we have across the system. Human capital shortages is another prevalent issue we have, specifically right now in tech law, as well as cybersecurity policy and enforcement. Low public understanding of digital rights and data protection.